Hello, welcome to this video that deals with fear. We all have fears, and today's a good day to talk about fear because we're all confined during the coronavirus pandemic. Today's like the 15th or something of April 2020. So anyway, we're going to understand fear, and once we understand fear, it's pretty much going to go away. Pretty much. For some it will, for some maybe it'll take a little bit longer. But we're going to understand something that is really simple, because a good way to deal with any problem in life is understanding the problem. When you understand your problem, it suddenly kind of fades away. If you're sick at home and you have a disease and you keep going to doctors and they tell you, I'm sorry, I can find nothing. You seem fine, but you're not feeling well. And every doctor tells you that you are okay, but you're not feeling well. The fact that you don't understand what's going on makes you really sicker and more depressed in a way. So now we're going to understand that fear kind of works that way. It's about the same thing. So what we're going to talk about is, what is fear? Fear is, we're going to understand that our brains are completely negative. Our brains, in a neutral standpoint, in a neutral stance, are always negative. What does that mean? It means that when you don't know, when you do not know something that you want to know, your brain will create the absolute worst scenario. Meaning, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're at the office and the boss says, tell X to come see me. When you're called to your boss's office, your brain will automatically go to the worst scenario and say, oh my God, I wonder what I did. Am I getting fired? What did I do? How did I screw up? And things like that. Another example would be if you, let's say, a woman calls her husband and he doesn't answer. Automatically she thinks the worst thing, oh, he's with another woman or something. If you call your children, they do not answer. You don't have the information, your brain creates the worst scenario. And so basically, in a neutral stance, the brain goes towards the negativity, the negative aspect of things, and will create a scenario that is unlikely, but probably the only thing it can think of. Never, ever will you not know something, and I do mean never. Never will you not know something that you want to know and think positively. If you're waiting you go to a city that you don't know and you're waiting for a cab and one doesn't show up for 4, 5, 6 minutes, you're going to think, oh my God, I don't think it's ever going to come. It's never going to happen. I'm probably going to be stuck here, whatever. If they tell you, no, it comes every 10 minutes, like in 10 minutes it'll come, even if you have to wait 10 or 15, 20 minutes, you won't sweat it. But if you do not know the answer, you imagine, your brain and its subconscious it will start imagining the worst, and that's why you get anxiety and fear. So what does this all mean? It means that now we understand that not understanding the future of this virus, the future of this pandemic, the future of anything, and if we think about it and want to know, we are going to create terrible scenarios. We're going to think, oh my God, I'm not going to have a job, and jobs are not going to pay, there's not going to be enough food, let's go buy a lot of food, whatever. All the things that we think are going to be negative, they're never going to be positive. Okay, so the point I'm trying to make is that if you do not know and think, you're going to think negatively. So you have to tell yourself, this is not real. This is just my brain being himself or herself, being itself and thinking negatively. I do not have to believe in this fear. I do not have to believe in these black ideas, like gloomy and doomy ideas. It's just my brain being a brain. It can never think positively when it does not know. Now let's talk about negativity, which is directly linked to fear, of the fear of the unknown. Let's talk about negativity. Negativity, you also have to understand that not only does our brain go to negative thoughts when it does not have the answer, but also we are attracted and we stick to negative thoughts. Meaning, imagine you're doing a work presentation and there's like 20 attendees. And these 20 attendees love your thing and they say, oh man, it was great, whatever. And one person towards the end says, oh, that was bullshit. We all know all of this stuff. It's really not interesting, whatever. Well, when you hear that commentary from that person is the only one that's going to stick in your mind. And so driving home that night, you're not going to think of the 19 people that were happy with what you did. You're going to think, why did this person have to be so mean? What did I do? Why did they not like it? Why does it? And it's going to hurt. So, meaning we're not being objective. Instead of realizing that we have 98% approval ratings, we're going to think of the 2% that were not positive. Although we know that there's nothing on earth that pleases everybody. You can bring out the nicest car in the world. It's not going to please everybody. Not everybody's going to like it. The nicest woman, the nicest house, the nicest city. So everybody has their own preferences. So you might be excellent for 98%. The 2% are not going to like it. In general, it's going to be a lot more than that don't like you. But the point being, we're not going to recognize the ones that liked us, and we're going to focus on the ones that didn't like us. So the point we're trying to make here is that we understand our own psychology. Once I understand that my brain will always go towards negativity, once I understand that negativity will stick to my mind a lot more than positivity, then once I understand that, I realize, wow, it's just me being a human. So in fact, there was no reason to panic about the future. There's no reason to think about the negative comments that I got from people, because the majority of people like me and all that. So by analyzing this negativity and understanding it, we suddenly stop suffering as much. This will be a process because our brains are just like a muscle. The more you repeat something, the more it becomes strong. We create what we call neural connections. And these neural connections are like a muscle. The more you carry that weight, the more your muscle gets bigger. So we're going to start becoming more immune to negativity and to negative comments with time. So now what we understood today is that we should not trust our initial instincts. We should be factual and objective. Okay? And how does that help us? Instead of worrying about the future, we're going to know that being excellent at something will always win. Okay? Let's say I sell cars in a showroom. I'm going to start worrying about the future. Well, there's no need, because you don't control the future anyway. So what you do control is what you do today. So I want to make it out alive. I want to make money. I want to basically beat this virus and this pandemic and come out on top. So instead of worrying about what I don't know, which will lead me to have negative thoughts, I will concentrate on what I actually know, which is being excellent always wins out in the end. So what am I going to do? I'm going to start working on myself. So I know that being excellent is a good thing. I know that knowing more about my product is better for me. I know that being nicer is better for me. I know that connecting more with my customers is better for me. I know that working out is good for me. I know that studying philosophy and communication and psychology is good for me. All of these things, I know the ingredients of success. And so if in my showroom there's 20 salespeople, but I am the best, I will win out in the end. So what does this all mean? It means that stop worrying about what you do not know and concentrate on what you do know, which is being excellent wins out in the end. So we're going to recognize what ingredients we need, and we're going to go work on these ingredients. And actually by being busy, we forget fear. I'll give you one last example. Imagine you have a big problem with your boss, and you're really in the dumps, and you're angry and all of these things, and you're afraid for your job even. Now all of a sudden you receive a phone call and they say, oh, your son or your daughter just had a terrible accident and you need to come get him and take him to the hospital. Well, all of a sudden you're going to forget your problem with work, you're going to forget your problem with your boss, and you're going to be entirely focused on saving that child. You get into your car and you go do what you have to do. So by being busy with other stuff, we forget our fears. This, in relation to this pandemic, for example, if I say, oh my God, I got to learn another language, I got to learn philosophy, I got to learn psychology, I got to learn neuroscience, I got to learn about, because I'm a car salesman, I got to learn about mechanical stuff, I got to learn about electric cars, I got to learn about hybrids. By being consumed by these things, you suddenly forget about the pandemic. And while you're forgetting and you're getting busy with your stuff, you're actually getting better. You become a better person. Once the pandemic is done, that's it. You're a better person. So and every time you feel you know something more, you create joy, which beats the fear. So if I don't know something about my job and I learn it, wow, I feel great. I used to say something about engines, and now all of a sudden I understand what I'm saying. I feel better. So there's a lot of stuff that we need to do, which is get busy, get busy, get busy. Well, the busier you are, the less worried you will be. So I hope this helped you out, and I hope that you get into the action right away. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.